right. Hey, Genie.
Hi, guys.
Cheesy smile. It's good.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Glad to have you.
Thanks.
So, you are here today because you responded to our email, and we've talked about this a couple times, that we were going to want to try and touch base with you about your CrossFit journey a bit. So, would you be willing to kind of give us an idea what got you here?
Here to DCF.
Yeah.
So I started CrossFit a couple boxes ago. Is that allowed? We're allowed to talk about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course.
It just magically appeared here. Mm-hmm. And I'd always done a lot of cardio. Grew up playing a lot of competitive sports. When it came to weightlifting on my own, that's what I'm really bad at. I couldn't stick to a routine. I just would get bored with making myself, do what I was doing. So that's why I initially started CrossFit a while ago. Gosh, maybe like
4 years ago.
Maybe 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and came pretty regularly. And then, life throws you some
Curveballs.
that you're
Twists and turns.
Yeah. And I became a single parent, and wasn't able to come as much. I came when I could, wasn't consistent. And then you guys opened the DCF gym and created this amazing space where my children can be locked in a box. And that has saved my life. They are sitting in that box right now. And they've gotten older, and that's gotten easier, but that was a game changer for me. And so I committed to, I was like, all right, get here 2 days a week for maybe pretty soon after you guys were open. Mm-hmm. And so I did that. Often would get 3, but I had a goal to get here 2. Had a punch card. I would like, what is today? I am not paying money to do that.
So you're able to cherry pick.
Yeah. Like, nope, I'm not doing that. And then a year ago, January, I needed some completely healthy changes, and I was tired of myself and where I'd found myself, my brain, my body, still working out, but just not giving myself the attention I needed, not the self-care, the mindfulness I needed to. And so I made a commitment a year ago, January, to come every weekday, and started doing that, and I pretty much have done that ever since. I miss a day here or there, and I hate missing days. That makes me really grumpy. Mm-hmm. The day of burpees, I hate missing a day of burpees. That's a pretty big thing.
Right.
Yeah, and it's been one of the most beautiful things in my life.
Huh. So that's part of the reason why you keep coming. You made a big commitment to yourself. That's
true.
Awesome. That is like little incremental changes, though. It doesn't just happen overnight. So the what kind of kept you? What are some other things that kind of were pieces that kept you coming? Because it was you committing to yourself. Or what? Is there anything else that happened that kind of kept things moving forward?
I mean, the flavor of this gym is just amazing. It's the whole package of the community. There's some pieces I really love, how well organized you guys are. I mean, honestly, it felt like you show up. I like the tech piece. I like being able to how about the visuals and stuff. Usually, notebooks are great, but I'm a teacher and I tech every day in my room. It's just sort of I like where we've come with that. That I don't have to go through a notebook and scroll through, because I'm not gonna. It's harder to look back and harder. I like to be able to see the progress as it is. Mm-hmm. And just the amazing amount of people that keep coming, and this whole group of coaches that, prior to this, you guys dedicated your time, and how cool that you came together and were able to create this place. So, this place keeps me coming back. Life constantly throwing stuff at you. I need this. This grounds me. It's part of this sort of like personal package that I keep consistently. Like, I work out in the mornings at home. I do cardio every morning, and that's for everybody else, is what I always say. Like, that gets my brain ready. I'm a better parent. I'm a better teacher. I'm a better human when I do that. I don't have to take medication. The treadmill is my medication. Mm-hmm. And then CrossFit is just for me. It's like I had to say recently where like nobody gets to take this away from you every time you do this. And you're not gonna be surprised. I'm a really competitive person.
What?
This is a groundbreaking news.
I know.
No.
I know. It's kind of a crazy thought. And I mean, competition saved my life. Competitive sports got me through high school, got me through college. Always having that to look forward to. And that piece of this is, I know that's not why everybody comes, and it shouldn't be why everybody comes. But everybody has their thing that they come for, and that's a huge part of it for me. Where I personally get to look at my own growth. There are a couple of members where we like jokingly have fun being like, oh, you have 2 more reps than me, and the whole thing. Like that, I love that piece of it, that it's all in good nature and all in good fun. And, so you have a goal next time that you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you always push me in workouts. I know. That's you're one of my favorite people when I'm in here, besides Bob.
You and
Tina
wall balls.
will push me. Oh, yeah.
Wall balls.
Well, she competed on the GHD with me the other day with some squat stuff, and I was like, oh, Genie, I got 1 more rep. We're going to keep up with Genie.
So there's obviously you're pretty involved in the community. You do a lot of other things around our lovely town of Walla Walla. What are some things that people ask you, or when you talk about CrossFit? What are some things that people say, or what do you say to them?
Like, oh, you're one of those crazy CrossFitters. Whoa.
Absolutely.
Well, and I got fitter over the last, year and a half. And evident, like, the cool part was, it wasn't like I have my past life, like, goal to lose weight. It was nothing about that. It was about, I just want to feel fitter. I've always been strong, so I was like, see how strong you can, like, actually be with these muscles you were gifted, and born with. And people always said that, but now it's super fun. Like, as a teacher, I love, we get new kids. This is really funny, and like some of the students will be like, "Oh, flex for him.
Just do it.
Flex for him. He hasn't seen you flex yet." Like just the other day, there's this whole group of kids sitting out at lunch, and one of the kids is like, "Oh, which teacher would you not want to get a fight with?" And they're like, "Oh, so and so and Genie." Like Genie, like, have you seen her flex? Like, but I love that, like, at least and I work at the alternative school where they're making all kinds of unhealthy choices, and bit by bit, every day, I'll talk about, "Hey, I did 75 pull-ups yesterday." Really? Yes. And like have these conversations, and all those little bits of healthiness pay off. Like, we start to have conversations about like, they're like, I don't want to smoke as much. I'm like, hey, let's talk about that. And I know Nikki and I have talked about a dream of infusing this piece into their day, because I think it's so much more, they could embrace it in a different way than just like a regular PE class that they're all so burned out on, I think it could be a really cool thing that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to other people, they're like, oh, I couldn't, when they're like, how did you, they want to know what's the secret, how'd you get to fit? And I'm like, I worked hard, I worked my butt off. And it's like, and they're like, well, I can't do that. I'm like, you can't, anybody can do that. Like, it's not like I had some secret potion that, and I'm like, I can do it. I'm a single parent, I have 2 kids, I have a full-time job, I fight fires in the summer. I'm like, and I figured out how to work this in. And I think I get real tired of the excuse like, oh, I don't have time to work out. I'm like, then you're choosing that. Then you're choosing that because you do. Everybody can find that time to work out. And I don't mean to say that like with a bitter edge to people, but and I don't, but I was like, see if you could fit it in. And CrossFit doesn't necessarily have to be for everybody, but I think it could be for a lot of people that just don't know or understand.
Yeah, there's things that you get here that are like a natural byproduct of just showing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As far as like changes outside of the box, and what's the biggest change that because of how healthy you are, and where you started and where you've come to now, like what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen going outside of the box? I mean, whether it be activities or things that you do day to day.
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm a better parent. I'm an absolutely better parent. I love they get modeled. They're modeled, that this is what we do every day, that like mama gets to have this piece every day. We do karate and baseball and soccer for them, and I'm like, this is my thing, and they get to see that. They get to see that every day, and they know what that's about. I've been a Clydesdale runner for a long time, because I actually love running. Some people don't, and I think if you don't love it, then find something else to do. But I'm one of those people that loves running, and CrossFit has the full body strength piece has changed my running. My last half marathon I ran, it was a trail run. It was beautiful, I kicked my own self's time by far, but the most fun was the last mile. Was like an uphill, pretty steep climb to get to the end. It was like last mile and a half, and I passed 35 people. And I just like,
That's awesome.
and I just
Bing,
like
bing,
I kicked it into this other gear, and I wasn't trying to be the goof who's like, but I wanted to be like CrossFit, you should try CrossFit, you know, because people were like, good job, because they were just feeling, and I just like had this other gear in my legs, and it was just like bam, 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 bam. So that was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love finding your new other gears.
Yeah, finding new gears, right?
Mm-hmm. So, you've talked a little bit about people who are kind of on the fence, perhaps about trying CrossFit, or just starting anything with fitness. You've already kind of given us some ideas, but what would you say has been some effective advice you've been able to give to someone who's wanting to start something different?
I think people you turn on the TV. I mean, I'm going to do a bunch of TV, but you turn it on, it's like you see like a CrossFit thing, and it looks sort of like people are just getting annihilated by like, well, you're watching the extreme version, and walking them through with the scale that every single thing that we do can be scaled and should be if you're not ready for that. And what I love are all the people who have not, didn't do athletics for whatever reason in their life, and this is kind of a starting point for them to watch them go from ground up is really cool to watch, and to like pay attention to their bodies and see how that feels. Because the biggest thing is it's just the powerful feeling you get from lifting weights and then heavier weights. I just think you don't get that physical feeling from anything else.
Anything in life.
Yeah,
No.
it's this beautiful, confident power. Like climbing a rope 9 times in one workout is like, oh my goodness, like I've done that since I was like 9. I mean it's just, that personal feeling I think is so getting them to latch on to that. It's not like I try to go out and sell it to everybody, but but I've actually gone on like long bike rides with people who then were like, and I talked it up so much, those are 2 members of the gym who were like, man, you talked about it and you kicked our butts on that ride, and
that's all they do is train.
Yeah,
They're training all the time.
Yeah, we need to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As far as things that you do, in the box, one of the things that I've always wanted to kind of hear is, one of my stories, obviously weight loss kind of brought me in, to CrossFit for me. What keeps you keep coming back into the box, outside of just, obviously showing the kids, what's there? Like, what kind of goals do you have now that you've hit kind of that weight loss goal where, you're no longer in that point where it's like, I want to strip off, 70 pounds. It's like, okay, what's the new goal for Genie? What's Genie's new goal?
Right, because I was just telling you, this last week I worked out twice a week, ate really well, and I gained 2 pounds. So, it's like, you can't focus on that thing, that data point, which is great. I love that I don't care about that anymore. So the fact that there's always somewhere else to go, there's always somewhere to grow. Like doing the open, the CrossFit Open is so humbling because you're like, I do pretty well, I do pretty well at the box. And then you like do this open, you're like, oh my gosh, like in the world of CrossFit, I am a peon, and it's great. It's so cool to see that. I keep coming back because I am stronger than I've ever been in my life, and I'm 42 years old, and it's like, how cool, but like that I can feel the strong. So why not keep feeling this strong and seeing how how far you can go with it. There are little goals all the time, like. And there are things where I've been saying recently, like, I'm never going to do pistols. Like, at this point in my life, I don't have the mobility. I'm never going to be able to do it. And this week, I attempted every pistol in the workout. And by the end of attempting, I started to get them. Like, finally I got stretched out. And
That's awesome.
Shane's like, you're getting some of them. And I was like, I am. Like, I was like, oh my God, I am. Because I know I have the leg strength to do it, but I just thought, like,
Flexibility, mobility.
Yeah, it's just never going to happen. So, like, stuff like that, it's cool, where you just... you surprise yourself, and it's also, it's so cool to kind of see myself shift to where like I am super competitive, but I love coming now and being supportive of other people and watching them have these successes. I have less of a need to be like I got a PR like I didn't. Amy was coaching the other day working out, and I'm like, and the bell rings. She's like, I'm like, no PR today. She's like, no PR today. It's not going to happen every time, and just that feeling of like I was okay with that, like that's great. That's how it's I'm not going to keep going and lift the moon. I mean, there's going to be a point where you're not going to be able to like.
There is a point.
You didn't think you were going to pick
The
up a
moon,
pistol.
I
and
guess.
right? The moon,
Shoot.
the moon might be there still.
Right?
We get some moon rocks or something. So this year, it was our first year doing athlete awards, and we're really excited about our DCF family nominating so many of our amazing people. And so you got an award. So tell us a little bit about your award. Oh yeah. Ta-da! Ding! So this is the award you got, most likely to never give up. Tell us a little bit about what that meant for you.
The beauty of my award is that it opens up for people to really make fun of you. I get the other ones are like, sweet and endearing, and actually I love that because I come with a bit of humor all the time. Because there's this two layers to it. Like, it's true, if you watch me, I'm kind of kamikaze, and people are like, what do you think about while you're working? I'm like, I don't. I black out and I make myself go, and because I know the end result is gonna feel awesome. But there's this other underlying layer to getting this where I was like, choked up when I went up there, and because life has thrown you those curveballs, and it hasn't been super easy like the last couple of years, and so it's like I haven't given up on all of that stuff. So that that it carries over, and that's there's some workouts that are just so intense, and you don't think you're gonna make it through the way you think you do, and then you do, and poor Shane, I think he's the one that's been the brunt of the most of my crying at the end of a workout where I've been on the rower and just let go, because I'm so proud of myself. I'm so, and you're so proud. And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, this is good crying. It's good crying. I'm so proud because I didn't give up, and I just don't ever plan on giving up, but it was really sweet to be recognized for that. It was funny and sweet, both of those.
I know we end with that question, but what's the biggest take? What's the biggest thing that you love about CrossFit? What's the thing that if you could take away one thing, it just hits you hard?
What is the biggest thing? It goes back to that positive power, this positive environment where you do grow up with competitive sports. It's not always positive. There's a lot of highs and lows, and you get beat up. You beat yourself up a lot. And I love being in a place where it's just you leave walking out the door exhausted, but so proud of what you've just accomplished, and that you've been a part of this community, and I love that community feel. I think I'm so proud of you guys, what you have created. I'm so proud of you. I'm choked up again, but I am. This is such an amazing thing that you did it thoughtfully. You did it well. When you had the party, when we did the awards, 100 people here. And I was like, look at what you've done. This is amazing what you've done for this community. Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah.
Well, we're thankful to have you as part of it. You're a big part of it. So.
You're what keeps us doing it.
Absolutely.